All right, Shalom, Shalom, Kol Halo Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah Ba'Shem Kakadash. The ones, the apostles and elders of great millstone who rule well. And peace and salutations to you sincere brothers out there pushing the truth across the four corners of the earth. Um, man, I just going in on some things, man, doing some spiritual meditation. Because in these days and times, dealing with this fallen place, dealing with people who have spirits on them, and all the chaos and shit that can ensue. It's good to have that clear head, those clear thoughts, and just like an elder was saying, man, get emotional stability. Developing that emotional stability, and because right now, it's really not a lot going on. You got a lot going on, but shit hasn't popped off like it's about to. And so, just for myself, one of the things is, meditation. Bringing peace of mind, being able to have those peaceful thoughts, and quieting your thoughts, because the scriptures tell you the heart is deceitful, and it's very easy to run off, with some bullshit, when it hasn't been thought out and filtered through the scriptures. But and that's what a lot of guys who are falling out the truth, or who speak ill of the truth given to us by our elders. That's one of the things that they've done. They get those demons on them, and they can't shake them. They can't get them off. They can't rebuke them, and so they just ride with them. And I put prayers up for myself and other brothers that, look, I hope those demons never come and they never hop on me. And if they do, I hope, the Lord will take them off. But just getting to this video popped up of these so-called civil rights leaders. And one of the things about, not just black society, but Native American society, so-called Latino society too. One of the things they established early is controlling our people using our own people. Always setting up, we talk about the whole house Negro thing. We talk about, Stephen from Django, and how he's over the other slaves, but he's a slave himself. But he has that deep self-hatred. And when you deal with Israel, they have that. A lot of our people have that deep self-hatred. Hey, Salakia, I had to pause it. I had one more scripture I forgot to get, but Salakia for that. But going back to this, you got these so-called civil rights leaders who met up with the Virginia governor. He's in a picture. I think he had a Klan hood on or something, and somebody else had blackface in the picture. And usually on any videos where you got Israelites bringing out the truth, you got a million comments. On this one, nothing. It's nice and empty. It's nice and blank, because these Edomites have nothing to say. One thing about it, not trying to go on a tangent, but we read and we speak out of the Bible, and these people they get pissed off, they get mad, but at the same time, their actions are completely against us. We say one thing, we say what's out of the Bible. We walk according to what the scriptures tell us to do. But then these people, they try to play innocent, they try to play the victim, but their actions, they don't speak that. They have a long history of violence, and we all know about Esau history. The whole world knows about Esau's history. So you can't play the victim when you've been doing all the victimizing for this whole time. And you got, once again, man, this guy, Jake should have been a complete, which most Jakes, it seems to be that it is, but it's supposed to be a complete cutoff from a dude like this, especially an Edomite. But what do you have? You got token Negroes because that's the system that Esau designed. You got your urban league. You got all these fraternities and fraternal orders. And what they do is Esau, because every fraternity that you join, there's a certain, you get certain kickbacks. You get shit from it. That's why they joined it. And what Esau does is he sees these people are from this fraternity. They know the process of becoming in this fraternity, which many cases, from what I've heard, you have to do some types of homosexuality or some of that kind of shit. Basically, they take these people and they give them high positions within the so-called Black, Native American, and Latino community. In this case, we're talking about the Black community, so-called Black community. And they use these people as puppets for them to implement laws and do different things. And, seeing that these people are self-hating pieces of shit, and when they deal with their own people, they see the same thing. The people, basically, because I've dealt with a lot of these kind of people in real life, dealt with these kind of characters, and not knowing that they're part of this kind of shit, or maybe knowing that they're a part of this kind of stuff, but not understanding, the different things that it means. But, now looking back, I could clearly see it. I can clearly see, like, man, why don't I like this guy? This guy seems real shady. And that's exactly what it was. He was in league with Esau. But anyway, Salakia, if I'm stumbling through it, I'm gonna jump to 2 Samuel, because this is a process right now that Jake is in. Trump is coming on his second, he's gonna have to come on his second election. He's gonna try to get in there twice. May the Lord, we got our fingers crossed that he does get in there, because we want him to push the button. And Jake is, Jake doesn't know what to do. Our people are into, what's it called, the ADOS movement, the American Descendants of Slavery, where so-called American Jake, which would be Judah, so-called American black people are saying, well, look, we're going to hold our own nuts. And then, the rest of, Benjamin and Levi and everybody else, you're on your own. But then, what they don't understand is you have Judah, Benjamin, and Levi mingled together here in America. And then you have Judah, Benjamin, and Levi in the Caribbean, in West Africa, and other places beyond too. You got Israel all over the world. Not even addressing the fact that the Northern Kingdom, they're Israelites too. So-called Latino and Native American tribes. But this whole process of trying to get reparations, because that's what ADOS is doing. They're trying to do the reparation thing. They're trying to get tangibles. They're trying to do X, Y, Z. And shit, America, they don't have it like that. And shit, if they did have it like that, it's not gonna go to you, because America has different wars and different things that they're planning all over the world. They got the Venezuelans, and they got the Yemens and all this other shit that they have their hands in. They're not, these top elites, they know who we are. They know who the Israelites are. They know we were brought here as punishment, and a lot of them, they know how we're going to leave here. And so, that's why it's so important to know who you are. Because if you're in this book, you're under these prophecies, the different things of these prophecies that are going to pop off later on. The second Esdras 15s, the Ezekiel 37s, all these different major prophecies that are going to pop off, they're going to affect you. And that's what our people don't want to, they don't want to face that. They don't want to face the music. But this is what happened back in the ancient days, because the process for you becoming the process for you becoming a so-called leader, or a so-called person of honor, was much different. I'm gonna just play a couple of clips or a couple of moments, excuse me, from this meeting, just to show you just the mindset that these people are in. Now look at this guy. The motherfucker just start talking and he's already nodding. Yeah, yeah. Then he hasn't even said anything. He hasn't made any apologies. He hadn't. All right. You know, they say he's a learner. Yeah, you doubles, you gonna learn the hard way. But you know, it just goes to show you, you know, nobody's asking them any hard questions. It's a nice, safe space, you know, for them to have their coons on national television. And you know, this is not. You got a lot of our people who are upset, but you know, not enough for it to be an outrage, man. This kind of shit should be a complete outrage. You know, and that's why brothers say, man, here in America, we don't have we're not in our rulership seat. You know what I'm saying? These Edomites, they try to control the narrative, which, you know, it's going all through the spirit and power, Yahweh Shemau Shah, the truth is going to come out. And they use these kind of people to do it. You know, Kamala Harris and, you know, what's his chick name? Rosario Cortez, all these other people, you know, the pawns on the chessboard. But anyway, jumping over to something righteous, because this is what happened with King David. You know, King David was a man, of course, we know, with a mind after the Lord. You know, he was one of the Lord's favorite men. This is 2 Samuel 2 and 4, and it said the men of Judah came and there they anointed David king over the house of Judah, and they told David, saying that the men of Jabesh Gilead were they that buried Saul. There you go. So King David was actually anointed by men of Judah, and he was actually anointed as king. You know, and it would have been some elders there too. Jumping in this one too, because this is talking. Proverbs 31 is talking about a righteous woman. Then it jumps down in verse 23. It says, her husband is known in the gates when he sitteth among the elders of the land. Right? Because when you came in the city, the elders were there to inquire your business, you know, and check you out, see who you were. You know, in some cases you had to declare who your fathers were, and you know, your line going back to Israel and all of that stuff. That's why the scriptures talk about go to the gates of the nobles. You know, go to the gates where those nobles are, or these other nations. Which in America we go to the gates of Esau. You know, we go out in the highways and byways, the chief place of concourse where these Edomites are making the money, and you know these Edomite elders, their elders walk by and they see us, and then sometimes they inquire, they make conversation, usually not. You know, because they don't have anything to say. They've already persecuted our people, you know, in their full strength. So they know what it's about. They know that their kingdom is going down. That's why there's no protest. You know, they don't have any good arguments. They don't have any good cases against us. They can't come out and tell us all the good things they're doing for Israel. They can't do it because it doesn't exist. You know, this is Lamentations. This is another way how you know the word of Israelites. It says that this is Lamentations 5:14. The elders have ceased from the gate, the young men from their music. The joy of our heart is ceased. Our dance is turned into mourning. So the elders have ceased from the gate. You know, there's nobody to screen anybody from coming into our nation, and that's what's going on right now with the leadership. You know, especially on YouTube, where you know anybody can be a YouTube star, anybody can make comments, and you know they have to be taken seriously because some random person on YouTube with no works is saying them. You know, but in actuality, you know, another case, you know, when King David was speaking to the people, he was speaking to his men and to his soldiers. I think that's in 2 Samuel 7. You know, he's at the gates of the city because that's where you made proclamations. That's where all the attention was. That's where a large part of the businesses were at. I mean, matter of fact, okay. Well, Salakia, you know, I paused it. I looked it up. I don't know if they have it on YouTube. I could probably get it another way, but you get the point, man. You get the point. But anyway, you know, the house of Israel is being built up, you know, the right way. Because, you know, when you building something, you got different types of jobs. You know, you got the one where, you know, people are just bullshitting and putting together anything. You know, it's a cheap job. But then you get into some of the more expensive jobs, some of the more, you know, expensive pieces. You know, everything has to be done the right way in order for that house to stand. And the only house that's fully in order, that's doing everything the right way, has been under the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. You know, you can you know, of course, you know, every group, they have their small minor issues, but in the grand scheme of things, if you look and compare every single camp, you know, Great Millstone's the top one. That we have well, you know, I'm not trying to brag or be proud, but shit, we have everything is together. Everything is in order, you know, from the heads on down. Now, of course, you know, the scriptures talk about the flesh, you know, our flesh being weak, you know, men, you know, go off, of course, we're all according to the flesh, but when you look at, you know, who's going out in the streets, who's in the right spirit, who's constantly prophesying, who's constantly feeding the flock. You know, the apostle put out the order for us to do 3 videos a week, and brothers have been on fire. Who's constantly doing the things that the scriptures say to do. And shit, comparing with other camps, man, they don't even compare. And I'm gonna just leave it at that. So if you're looking, you know, for whose camp is on point and what camp should you join, shit, look no further. Hey, but with that, man, call Halal Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai by Hashem Kakadash. Israel is being built. You know, that house of David is being built. The men of the Lord are being built the right way under the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, the top leaders in Israel. And you know, another thing I was going to bring out too was how Esau separated the church and state in his constitution. The church and state are completely separate. You know, not like in the scriptures, how people have the zeal. You know, they want to go into church every Sunday. They want to feel a part of that. They want to feel the presence of God and all of this stuff. But those sacred ceremonies, those things that they hold sacred, they're really not sacred. You know, those things are separate from their daily lives. And it shows a lot, you know, people going to the church and then you see them out on the street and it's a different case. Well, that's not how it's supposed to be. Everything you do is supposed to be dictated by the church that the Lord set up. You know, it's been like that from the beginning. That's why the laws were given under Moses. Moses was the king. Aaron was the priest, you know, the high priest. So it's supposed to all be joined together. That's another way we know that Esau is the devil. You know, he did that. He separated the church and state because his church was wicked. That the Catholic Church, the pedophile priests and all the wickedness, them motherfuckers was wicked. You know, Esau being divided, they separated everything up. With that being said, man, call Halal Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. You know, we don't have too much more time under these Edomite brothers. So continue on, continue through the faith, continue pushing that plow. Shalom.